Good afternoon. I am going to assume that that was for you and for the faculty behind me. I'm Dave Daly. I'm honored to serve as the interim dean of the College of Agriculture. On behalf of the trustees of the California State University, the faculty, staff, and students of Chico State, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the commencement ceremony of the College of Agriculture at CSU Chico. Will you please rise and remain standing while Tyler Campbell, musical theater major, sings the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Tyler. And it's obvious he's not a major in the College of Agriculture. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the acting president of CSU Chico, Dr. Roland Richmond.
Thank you, Dr. Daly. This morning we are gathered at this commencement exercise to celebrate the achievements of our College of Agricultural graduates and their place in the distinguished company of university-educated women and men. It is an achievement which only 25% of the American population realizes, so it is an occasion when we can rightly feel their pride as we share their high hopes and anticipate their bright futures. It's now my pleasure to introduce the members of our platform party. Starting from my right, they are, and will they please stand? Dr. Wes Patton, Professor Emeritus with the College of Agriculture, who will provide our commencement address. Ms. Annette Hylason, who is the chair of our staff council. Mr. Jimmy Reed, the 2003 graduate of the College of Agriculture and president of the California State University Chico Alumni Association. Dr. Susan Elrod, interim provost and vice president of academic affairs. You've already met him, but let's have applause again. Dr. David Daly, the interim dean of the College of Agriculture. Dr. Michael Spees, interim associate dean of the College of Agriculture. Dr. Molly Aschenbrenner, agricultural education graduate program coordinator. Dr. Selena Phillips, associate professor of animal science. And Jessica Vasquez, who is a candidate for bachelor's in agricultural business. It is with great pride that I extend another important recognition early in our program. Over the years you have been at Chico State, you have been accompanied and assisted by an exceptional team of people who have helped you, supported you, and inspired you. They have dedicated their professional lives to their students and to their disciplines. They have earned our appreciation and respect. Graduates, please join me in a great round of applause as I ask to stand and be recognized the extraordinary faculty of the College of Agriculture. Please stand. Thank you. I am now pleased to introduce you to Dr. Susan Elrod, who is our interim provost. Susan.
Thank you, President Richmond. Graduates, I'm honored to be able to address you this evening or afternoon, it's sort of halfway in between, I think, and offer you my sincerest congratulations for reaching this important milestone in your lives. During your time here at Chico State, you've had many challenges, learned many things, and met and overcome and had many experiences. I want to share some words of wisdom from others that I hope will help you put your time here into perspective as you move into the next chapter of your lives. The experiences you have had have changed you. And I'll use this quote from Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr. to explain. A mind that is stretched by new experience can never go back to its old dimensions. You have been transformed by the things you have experienced and learned here. You are different, better. What you have learned has also prepared you for the future. And here I like to quote the famous French microbiologist Louis Pasteur. Chance favors the prepared mind. You will encounter many opportunities, some that will be obvious, others that will not. But your education here has given you the knowledge and skills to take advantage of them as you choose. Your education will open doors for you that you will now be prepared to step boldly through into new worlds and adventures. Your time here, I'm sure, has also presented you with many challenges, from class assignments to managing animals and issues at the farm. You have overcome them, or you wouldn't be sitting in the chair that you're sitting in. I presume, anyway. In doing so, you have become more resilient, which is the ability to achieve good outcomes despite encountering difficulties. And as author Robert Jordan states, the oak fought the wind and was broken, but the willow bent when it must and survived. You now have the ability to be adaptable, to bend and twist with the wind so that you can withstand the pressure, the challenge, and persevere. There are bigger forces at work sometimes, and it is important to recognize them, give in to them, bend with them, to not fight so that you can survive. With all of that, I will close with a final quote from one of my favorite authors, Dr. Seuss, from his book, Oh, the Places You'll Go. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself in any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the one who will decide where to go. Congratulations, graduates.
This time I'm very pleased to introduce to you one of your great friends and just a remarkable student that we've all enjoyed having either in class or in all of our activities, who will present reflections for the day. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Jessica Vasquez. Jessica.
As much as I love the warm weather we have been having, I must say that I absolutely love Chico in the fall. I remember my freshman year, older students told me to wait until I saw Chico in November because of the beauty that would soon envelop the small city. I thought I knew what to expect, a typical fall scene. But when November came, the colors were incredible. They were vivid, full of the stunning mixture of red and yellow leaves. So beautiful, so Chico. I feel as though there are a lot of things here that are simply so Chico. Riding bikes through Bidwell, jumping in the water at Bear Hole, or going to farmers market on Thursday nights and Saturday mornings. Being in the College of Agriculture has given us even more experiences that we have shared together. Like when we had Audrey for Intro to Ag when we first came to Chico, and we were able to get our first glimpse into what awesome people filled the halls in Plumas. Or when we had an excess amount of bok choy and lettuce from Plant Science 101, and we tried to figure out what to do with all of it. Or there are the countless times when we would eat a tri-tip sandwich on the third Thursday of every month from the YCA barbecue. These experiences have given us our roots in Chico while we created our lives here for a few years. But now, the time has come. We have been counting down the days until we could walk across the stage, adorned in our cap and gown, hard-earned diploma in hand. Here at Chico State, our minds have been molded and expanded as we took courses that challenged us, learned from professors that have inspired us, and developed relationships that have forever changed us. Although all of us have different interests, hobbies, and talents, we all have one common bond: agriculture. It's not only our shared experiences that make the Chico Ag students so great, but the ways that we are different as well. The people in front and behind us may be knowledgeable in a completely different area than ourselves, but that is what makes us strong. Together, we represent many different facets of the agriculture industry. No matter where we may go from here, or what great accomplishments we will have in the ag industry, we will always share the foundation we built together at Chico State. As a college, we will continue to make efforts toward advancing agriculture, and because of the great preparation we have received here, we will succeed. Thank you to all of the faculty and staff in the College of Agriculture for your support, encouragement, and drive to help us get here today. Thank you for the open doors on the second floor and for your genuine concern and interest when asking how we are doing. Now that this day has finally arrived, it brings with it both happiness and sadness. Happiness because I am proud to say that I am a graduate from California State University, Chico. Sadness because it will be hard to leave such an impactful place filled with extraordinary people. But we are prepared to enter the real world now. And the world needs us, the agriculturalists, to feed, clothe, and educate them on the importance of agriculture. And we will. Thank you for an incredible experience, Chico State. Proud to be a product of the College of Agriculture.
Thank you, Jessica. She just epitomizes the group that's in front of me. And you folks, you really are incredible in a variety of ways and all differently. And I've worked with many of you in all kinds of occasions. But I really want to celebrate with you and thank you for what you've done, not only for yourselves, but for us. You've got a great group back here, and they love to work with you. They complain occasionally, I complain occasionally, but we really have enjoyed the time we've had together. So they gave me 5 minutes, and they said, what are you going to say? And I haven't decided yet, but I thought I'd start here. There must be something important going on for this many people to show up in funny-looking dresses with square hats and tassels. Some of the faculty have very bizarre costumes. I feel like I've fallen into a bad version of Harry Potter and Hogwarts. But with that said, you are so different, with so many diverse interests. The overachievers who've been to our office, who get every point and an extra one if they can. Those who it's like, no, that was not you. And I did recognize the voice from the second row. But we won't say names because your family's present. But you do. And then those who you've worked your way through school, you may be re-entry students, you may have taken the hard way. It may have been 6 or 8 years versus 3 or 4, but you did it. And you did it in different ways, with different goals, different aspirations. It's just remarkable to see where you go. And I get a chance, and I miss it in this administrative role, to see many of you as an advisor or as an instructor. And you come into that office, and it's okay that you're unsure. but you all have dreams and directions. From international agriculture to go back to be a farmer, to agri-finance, to being teachers, to being producers. It's just great to see that kind of differences, but the common theme is that you care. And I think Jessica expressed that very, very well. A couple of quick introductions, very brief. But just so you're aware, I would like to congratulate one person and say farewell to another. To begin with, I'd like to congratulate Dr. Betsy Boyd, who was just elected chair of the Academic Senate and represents the College of Agriculture. And I'd also like to bid a fond farewell and a thank you to Dr. Mitch Johns, who gave his last final today, his last commencement, but will be part of our institution forever. Thank you, Mitch. And just a little advice, because I can't help it. Thank you so much for paying attention to my email yesterday. And for those of you who didn't pay attention, you are covering it extremely well. And I appreciate your practice in being able to do that. And I think my email means I have to show up at Joe's later tonight because I put my foot in it. For a very quick visit, I think. Closing comments. Dr. Enriquez Jansen, who most of you will not remember, but many in our faculty will, and I saw him the other evening at Dr. John's retirement, and it reminded me of Enriquez and I used to share Dutch jokes because he was Dutch, and they were loosely translated and not well done, but we enjoyed them. But a couple of them that came to mind is life is like a bicycle. You don't fall over until you stop pedaling. And the second one, which is even more appropriate, life is like your nose. You have to pick real hard to get out of it what you want. And Enriquez had some other ones, but I think we'll stop there. And then finally, I was honored to present to the Academic Senate this group of graduates for their consideration, those of you who will receive the Bachelor of Science in all fields of agriculture the other day. And I used a quote, which is one I'd like you to reflect on and think about. If you're planning for a year, sow rice. If you're planning for a decade, plant trees. If you're planning for a lifetime, educate people. Thank you very much. It's now my pleasure to introduce the president of the Alumni Association, Mr. Jimmy Reed. I have a little script here I can read, but Jimmy and I go back even before that. He may not remember this, but I think I judged one of the steer shows he was showing at, where's Jimmy setting? At Yuba Sutter Fair. And if he didn't win, he will probably never forgive me, because that goes back to 4-H and FFA, and people who show steers, if they don't win, you are not a successful judge. It's just part of life. But Jimmy's a double alumnus from Chico State. He earned his Bachelor's of Science in Agricultural Business in 2003. He went on to obtain his Master's of Science in Public Administration in 2008. During his undergraduate career, he was an Associated Students President. Dr. Elrod also served in that role. He's also involved in many College of Agriculture organizations, Students for Responsible Agriculture, Young Cattlemen's Society for Ag Managers. It's a pleasure to have Jimmy at our ceremony. I'd now like to invite him to the podium to greet the candidates.
Thanks, Dr. Daly. I do remember that fair. Yeah.
Did you win?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Hello, graduates. How are you today? Good. What an accomplishment it is for you to be here today. All those term papers, those late nights studying, and surviving Dr. Cindy Daly's labs. What an accomplishment. Believe me, I remember those labs. On behalf of the entire Chico State Alumni Association, it's my pleasure to congratulate you on your graduation. Today, as you walk across this stage, you become a member of an elite group, the Chico State alumni. You are joining a group of over 130,000 that can call Chico State our alma mater. It is an honor to have this opportunity to share this moment with you after all the culmination of your dedication and hard work towards your education. It is also a pleasure to be here today with one of my mentors from when I was a student, Dr. Wes Patton. Otherwise known as Doc, Dr. Patton was one of the professors that truly made a difference in my life. I guess you did too, Dr. Daly, with that judging. His devotion to education and to his students was demonstrated through his passion to teach and his compassion for student success. I remember the long days and nights he would spend with students to ensure our success. Thank you, Doc, for all that you have done for this college and university, and thank you for being here today. It is an honor to be here with you today as a fellow College of Agriculture graduate because it was just 12 years ago I sat where you're sitting today. Born and raised in the Sacramento area, coming to Chico was one of the best choices I have ever made, and I'm sure you all feel the same way. Not only did I receive a world-class education, I met many great educators, some still sitting back here, lifelong friends, and grew to love the city of Chico. It was my hope to stay in Chico to start and build my career, but it was necessary to move back to Sacramento to embark on my future. I was fortunate enough to begin my career 11 years ago, and I'm proud to be a successful grad still employed with the same company I started with. I know each and every one of you will find the same success because we Chico State graduates have unique qualities about us that definitely separates us from others. We have learned the abilities to interact with others with ease, put ourselves out there to be one step ahead, and to be fearless. Some may say we get these qualities because of our ability to socialize with one another while in and outside of the classroom. While that may be partly true, the fact is these qualities come from the education you received from these exceptional professors, mentors, staff, alumni, and for that matter, your parents, family, and friends. Keep that in mind when you walk across the stage and into the real world. Employers want you because of the qualities you obtained at this university, and I have seen it firsthand. Take the qualities you've learned to be the next generation of leaders of the agriculture industry in California, the nation, and the world. When you embark on that journey into the real world, I implore you to keep the Chico experience close to your hearts. Anyone who has had the privilege of being a member of this campus and community understand what this term represents. The Chico experience can be defined as your memory at Bidwell Park, bike rides through and around downtown, or your favorite spot on campus. For me, it was sitting outside of Plumas Hall with all my other classmates waiting for class, exchanging notes and stories from the weekend past. So treasure the time you have had here at Chico State. As the Chico State motto reads, "Today decides tomorrow," I would like each of you to think about the future of this university and the next generation of graduates who will follow you. While you may be leaving today, you will always be part of this great university as an alum. We at the Alumni Association offer the link between the campus and Chico State graduates. While the association hosts a plethora of events and activities, we strive to engage current students, advocate for a prosperous future of this university, and explore opportunities to enhance the beauty of our campus. And now for some good news. Being a member of the Alumni Association will require annual membership dues, but just recently, the Alumni Association Board of Directors voted to make the association more inclusive. Effective July 1st of this year, with the help and blessing of the university, all graduates of Chico State are now automatically members without dues of the Chico State Alumni Association. With that said, it is my hope to see each and every one of you as an active member of what you can now call your Alumni Association. Congratulations, graduates.
Thank you, and Jimmy epitomizes people who continue to give to the university, and we really hope and expect, and all of you will be at different places at different times, but we love to see you back on campus and to visit with us. It's important. That doesn't mean you still have to go out and get a job first, okay? That's part of it. And we know most of you have worked out. This next introduction is very important to me and very special in that Dr. Patton may remember this, but I think it was exactly almost to the day However, 1979, how many years ago is that? 36, for gosh sakes. I actually stood in Jessica's shoes as speaker for the College of Agriculture. And Dr. Patton was one of my mentors and advisors and teachers, just like these people who are sitting behind you have done for you. And very frankly, he's the one who said, when I was about a junior, "You want to go to graduate school?" I said, "What's graduate school?" You know, I think many of you are in that place. It's a mentor who makes a difference and exposes you to lifelong opportunities. And so it's a great pleasure to introduce Dr. Wes Patton, Professor Emeritus with a 35-year distinguished career with the College of Agriculture. We all called him Doc. Nobody else got to be called Doc when Doc was still here. That was part of it. This was not his first encounter with the College of Agriculture. He was actually a transfer student from Coalinga College. You want me to say the year? You want me to skip that? 1963, I just threw it out. Which is now West Hills. He earned his bachelor's degree in 1965, attended Oregon State University where he earned his PhD in animal science and took a position with the College of Agriculture soon after. Throughout his tenure as professor, Wes earned multiple awards for excellent teaching, National Association of Colleges and Teachers of Agriculture, National Association of Agricultural Educators, California FFA Association, and he was also been a distinguished alum for the College of Agriculture. He and Jane, his wife, who become very close friends of ours, continue to give back to the College of Agriculture with a very generous scholarship donation, which helps students explore graduate school as they look to their next part of their journey. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Patton.
Wow, after a buildup like that, I can hardly wait to hear what I'm going to say. But today is not about me. It's about the graduate candidates that are sitting before us. And you've come a long ways, and you've got a long ways to go. This is a special day, and I really appreciate the opportunity to celebrate it with you. I know that not all of you reached here on the same path. Some of you came with tremendous support from family and friends, while others maybe not so much. But while you were here, you became a part of a bigger family. You became a part of the family of the College of Agriculture and Chico State, and I hope that you will see a way to come back and visit many, many times. From an academic standpoint, maybe some of you found it a walk in the park, while others struggled on a daily basis and worked your fannies off to get the grades so you could be sitting here today. Whatever the case, you're all here today, and I think that you need to be congratulated for that. Some of you came with financial support from home, while others had to work 3 jobs and win scholarships and take out student loans to be here. But whatever the case, you're all here, and I think that is the important part. Today, I'd like to talk to you about some things I think that are going to be important for you as you move on into your careers. First of all, you need to be honest. You need to be honest with yourself about your abilities. You need to be honest with your associates. You need to be honest with all of your friends. You need to be honest with your competitors. You also need to work hard. In the words of the famous football coach Lou Holtz, no one has ever drowned in their own sweat. And I think that has got some wisdom involved in it. You also have to have some competitive spirit, and there are 2 people in my life that have a tremendous amount of competitive spirit. First of all is my wife, Jane, who as an undergraduate at Oregon State won numerous prestigious awards because of her academic ability and her competitive spirit. And those of you behind me that remember Jane and know Jane realize she hasn't lost much of that competitive spirit as she's gone along. As a matter of fact, each month as she leaves the house to go play bunco with the girls, I have to remind her that bunco is not a contact sport. The other person that is special in this regard is your dean, Dr. David Daly. After a beef cattle conference in Colorado a few years ago, his friend Steve Radakovich and another guy you know, Clay Carlson, who is somewhat of a CrossFit junkie now, invited him to go on a run with them the next day before they all caught their planes home. What they didn't tell him, and he agreed, of course, and what they didn't tell him was that they were going to run to the top of Pikes Peak. And when they got to Pikes Peak, they found out it was closed for a car race that day, and so they had to pick the next mountain over, which turned out to be Colorado's answer to Mount Everest. And they started up the trail. They told Dave, now you haven't been training like we have, and so when you get tired, just sit down and wait, and as we come back down the mountain, we'll pick you up and we'll go home. When they got within 200 yards of the top of the mountain, they heard footsteps behind them, and it was Dave. And he blew past them, and he beat both of them to the top of the mountain. And they said to him, Dave, you haven't been training. This is high altitude. How did you win? He says that it wasn't as much that I wanted to win as that it was I was not going to lose. That competitive spirit, folks, will serve you well throughout your life. Now, just because you survived ag genetics, ag business management, plant pathology, that doesn't mean that anyone owes you anything. The only one that owes you anything is yourself. You owe it to yourself to be a lifelong learner. And parents and grandparents, as I get older, I say to myself, I need to learn more each day than I forget. And that doesn't mean much to the young people, but the rest of you probably can appreciate that. Graduates, you need to have some lofty goals. You need to have some BHAGs. And for those of you that are not familiar with BHAGs, those are big, hairy, audacious goals. These are goals that will stretch you. They are clear, they're compelling, they're uncomfortable sometimes, and it takes heroic effort to achieve them. They will move you forward if you achieve them. They will move your company forward. And the best example of a BHAG is in 1961, President Kennedy said to us, we need to put a man on the moon by the end of the decade. You know what happened after that. You need to question what you learned yesterday, because knowledge keeps changing and you need to keep changing with it. Things that you learned as freshmen here in the College of Ag, I first was introduced to in graduate school a few years ago. You need to be quick to look at new ideas. You need to be cautious to implement those. You need to be happy. You need to enjoy life. If you're not happy, you're probably not going to be very productive. If you're not very productive, you're probably not going to be very happy. So if you're not happy, figure out why and fix it. It's just that simple. And I'm sorry for those of you that grew up during a time when they didn't keep score in youth soccer. Because when you exit those doors today, there's going to be a scorekeeper out there, and he's going to follow you for the rest of your career. You need to have that competitive spirit. So, I urge you to have competitive spirit, because if you don't, you're going to be looking at Tesla taillights from the driver's seat of the 1990 Honda Civic you drove into Chico to begin with. You need to work hard. You need to be honest. You need to enjoy life. You need to be a lifelong learner. And you need to develop and follow your BHAGs. Drive that Tesla, don't follow it. Congratulations to all of you for what you've accomplished to this point. Congratulations to all of you for what you will accomplish in the future. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Doc Patton, and for all of your years of service to this university and to your discipline, and also to the people of California and indeed the nation. It's a pleasure to get to know you a little bit. Should we give him another round of applause? Candidates, no one, of course, makes it through a college degree program without some help. Each of you owes gratitude to someone, people who have been your strongest supporters, giving you encouragement and love, as well as considerable help in so many other ways, as you have prepared to move out into the world and to clean out your room at home. We know they take great pride in your accomplishments today, and your graduation is a singular achievement on their part as well. It is altogether right, then, that the graduating class join with all of us in expressing the appreciation that we feel for the folks surrounding us. your parents, grandparents, spouses, children, and significant others who are present today in person and spirit. Graduates, would you please stand and honor and thank all these folks with an exuberant round of applause. Thank you. I would now like to present the candidates for the Masters of Science in Agricultural Education. Will the candidates for Masters of Science please stand? Do we not have any here today? We did it already? Behind you. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the trustees of the California State University, I confer upon each of you the master's degree in agricultural education and with all the attendant rights, responsibilities, and distinctions pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
We have the absolute best students. I'm so glad you're getting a chance to see that today. And I am humbled and honored to introduce to you some of our Masters of Science in Agriculture Education, only the second group to graduate from our institution. Mr. Jason Fiara. Jason teaches high school agriculture at Wood Lake High School. Congratulations, Jason. Miss Natalie Ryan. Miss Natalie teaches high school agriculture at North High School in Bakersfield. Miss Wesley Hunt. Miss Wesley teaches high school agriculture at Hellsburg High School.
Audience, will you please join me in congratulating the recipients of the Masters of Science in Agricultural Education. Distinguished visitors and guests, faculty and friends, it is now my great pleasure to introduce the candidates for the bachelor's degree. Candidates, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the trustees of the California State University, I confer upon each of you the bachelor's degree appropriate to the course of study you have pursued, with all the attendant rights, responsibilities, and distinctions pertaining thereto. Will the candidates please come forward?
Jessica Emily Vasquez. Devin Lee Wilson, summa cum laude, recipient of special awards. Josina Juliet Conant. Taylor Ann Durfee. Katie Lynn Buckmaster. Caitlin D. Bradford. Sierra Danielle Brown. Jacob Jeffrey McLean. Christina Munton. Gabrielle Palmer. John Paul Thompson, summa cum laude. William Brannon Coughlin. Garrett Robert Wallace. Cody Lee Chew. Kaylee Diane Mincer. Wyatt Joseph Haynes. Patrick Dale Smith. Logan Ryan Kemp. John Thomas Barker. Adam Joseph Paul. Ryan David Lundberg, cum laude. Stephen Peter Canego. Clinton Joseph Miller. Derek Paul Carlotti. William James Bocast, recipient of special awards. Andrew Chase Tripp. Brittany Nicole Reed. Jenna Rose Combs. Marcus Angelo Vaccaro. Bill Vaccaro. Gabriella Oliva DeSimone, magna cum laude, recipient of special awards. Andrew Roger Minnie. Aaron Smith. Pooja Shah. Jennifer Gabriela Hernandez. Natalie Vasquez. Danielle Diana Reynolds, magna cum laude, recipient of special awards. Melody Lynn Hornback. Brittany Christine Kincaid. Nicole Evans. Anna Rose Kluge. Katie Marie Stroud. Peyton Renfield Imperial. Brianna Deanne Cunningham Fry. Christopher Coulter Utterbach. Benjamin Mendoza. Ivan Leal. Miguel Calzada. Jessica Martinez. Giselle Sandoval. Samantha Ann, oh, we'll get to you, Sam. Samantha Ann Underwood. Lindsay Megan Afonso. Megan Denise Ansolbaher. William Cameron Rolowitz. Jared Anthony Myers. Shay Ann McCluskey. Melissa Ann Withrow. Emily Ann Stoss. Amber Ann Anderson. Garrett Lee Gunderson. Adam Joseph Andrini. Joseph Garcia. Dakota Robert Shepard. Matthew Joseph Barber. Monica Pierce. Kenneth James Burrows. Justin Thomas Channing. Dylan Lee Johnson, recipient of special awards. Travis T. Stephen. Lane Andrew Taylor. Anthony Joseph Landini. Anthony Giovanni Barbagalata. Tyler Brooks Groholski. Benjamin Tommy Halleck. Kyle Thaddeus Jenkins. Gayleen Lorraine Kinsey Reishi. Elizabeth Lauren Quick. Narda De Leon. Tracy Lee Davis. Janessa Ray Walters. Peter Dodson Suden. Anthony Lewis Toledo II. Dylan Mitchell Zipper. Maxwell Stephen Francisconi. Joseph Paul Chimenti. Tyler Wayne Trueblood. Shane Thomas Young. Hope Christina Connolly. Bridget Ann Gallagher. Natalie Ann Pronovo. Taylor Helen France. Matthew Ostorello. Emily Ann Harding. Ashton Taylor Hossman. Ashley Brianna Foster. Angela Sammy Masdery. Isabella Carolyn Hacker. Jennifer Renee Weber. Shannon Danielle Shad. Candace Nicole Balestra. Kevin Robert Rourke. John Wesley Davis III. Kylie Akiko Tadaishi. Lauren Avery B. Cassie Clayton Runyon. Lauren Ann Ferreira. Derek Dean Mensch. Houston Jennings Sachs. Michael Lawrence Ashby. Michelle Marie Carcamo Rodriguez. Allison Elizabeth Benny. Samantha Ann Skelly. Jessica Corrine Ford. Mary Hergsted France. Andrew Bo Scar. Jacob Richard Hansen. Good luck. Stacy Ann Betancourt. Katie Del Leibold. Samantha Ellen Hurd, recipient of special awards. Molly Elizabeth McAllister. Nancy Hadigi. Tamara Noel Reister. Edgar Molina. Okay. Patrick Gurney Bloomfield. Joshua Richard Murphy. Michael Ben Phillips. Ari Christian Kapoor. John Michael Personius. Matthew Thomas Jordan. Ryan Michael Combe. Patrick John McGuire. Ashton Rose Hubbard, cum laude. Chelsea Sierra Ketchum. Gunter Breesy. Mitchell James Blakely. Taylor Michelle LaRosa. Daniela Oliva. Tara Jo Gibson. Courtney Cheyenne Dayhoff. Courtney Marie Wright. Laura Megan Cullum. Elva Raquel Castile. Natalia Amanda Filak. Mike Arthur Knutson. James O'Hara Grindell. Jorge Luis Velasquez.
Oh, one more row. You told me that.
Not done yet, Dave. Thanks. No more. Justin Charles Edson, recipient of special awards. Brianna Rose Ellis. Christina Elena Gorcosta. Jesse Ruvalcaba. Kathleen Monique Hart. Stephanie A.J. Bonamini. Carrie Christine Lewis, recipient of special awards. Alicia Frances Donahue. Natalie Ann Olsner, recipient of special awards. Isaac Valencia. Dion Christopher Arnett.
Thank you, thank you. Graduates, you may now move your tassels to the left of your cap to signify this momentous occasion. For all of our graduates, will the audience please join me in congratulating the California State University Chico College of Agriculture class of 2015. Congratulations. On behalf of the College of Agriculture and the entire university, we thank you for attending our graduation this morning. Honored guests and graduates, please remain in your seat. I guess it's afternoon, isn't it? Will you please remain in your seats until the platform party has departed and the student ushers will dismiss you? Please stay for the reception immediately following on the ceremony of the Heirs Lawn, which will be to your right as you exit the auditorium. Thank you very much for a wonderful occasion.